Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing another Doctor Who action figure review. I'm taking a look at the Bill Potts action figure from the 5.5 inch Doctor Who action figure range by Character Options. If you haven't already seen the video that I did a while ago, going over some of the bits and pieces that I got for Christmas, this is one of them, and so yeah, just thought I'd review Bill Potts on the channel, or the figure at least. From my limited understanding, I think this action figure is based off Bill Potts from Series 10 Episode 2, Smile, and that, so I think that because of the attire and the costume she's wearing, you know, the sort of, well, I was about to say shirt, but it's more just like a t-shirt, I guess. A very colourful one, which is odd considering that I find that totally sort of like the face that she has on this figure and that costume like don't match basically. But yeah, what was I going to say? I guess we could go over some of the articulation first. She doesn't have any arm, well, her arms can't go out to the sides for some weird reason, but they are full 360, like you can move them full 360, as I just did. But then also there's no hand articulation, so you can't like move the hand individually, like there's no ball joint there or anything, so that's a bit worrying. The head does move full 360, and the legs go in at the knee joints, and that. And also, as you can see with the feet, they are on a ball joint, so you can have them like point down and point up, right, I guess, somewhat, for some weird reason if you wanted to do that. And that's, you know, and the full 360 as well, and all that. So yeah, I mean, articulation wise, she's not great as a figure, I guess, which is a bit worrying considering it's one of Character Options' more recent releases and figures. So yeah, I think there was two variants, this one and another Bill Potts figure as well. So she's also got like back articulation, I guess, like you can move the body, and I am curious now thinking about it, can you move the waist at all? Like, no, there's not really any waist articulation, very limited waist articulation, and I think that's because of the costume, like the attire that she's wearing, like because of the shirt, or the sort of t-shirt sort of thing that she's wearing, like there, if you can see, it's sort of sculpted to such a degree near the pants that the sort of figure is limited in articulation there, and that. However, detail-wise, it's really good, and that, like, she's got the bow in her hair and that, and she's got this really sort of big afro, of course, like she did in the show, and that. But the thing that is a bit odd, though, is the texture-wise, it's very prickly, and that, it's very strange in that respect. But yeah, it's a bit more rougher around your fingers and that, which is a bit weird, and that. But the head sculpt itself is just really good, and that a really good likeness to Pearl Mackie, if you ask me, I think. But again, it's a bit odd that she doesn't look particularly expressive, like she's happy or anything, which is a bit odd considering that this is also based off a character in an episode called Smile. You would have thought they just sculpted in a smile, like a little cheeky smile or something, you know. But yeah, and also considering that I do actually think that Pearl Mackie her portrayal of Bill Potts was one of the more sort of expressive, more sort of flamboyant, sort of, for lack of a better term, I guess, childlike, sort of characters, and that. So I'm surprised, as I say, they haven't captured that particularly well. But then again, considering that this is either one or two, of the Bill Potts, so like first or second attempt at doing a Bill Potts figure, I think it's still a really good likeness. Then moving down to the sort of body and that, as I say, like this t-shirt design is really nice. It's just all different colours and that, and matches the design pretty accurately to the one in Smile. and that, like, I don't remember how many colours and what, like, the pattern was specifically, but it is very much, like, I know it's from Smile, so, you know, the pants are just fine, like, you know, just black pants, and the shoes are quite interesting with the sort of blue, light blue, white, and huge laces and that, lots of laces and that, which would be a nightmare for me. But yeah, and then obviously the sort of just brown wash for her skin and that, being someone of colour. And yeah, I guess it's a decent figure. It's one that I would recommend if you're a huge fan of Bill Potts, obviously, and Series 10 and that. And she doesn't look too out of place next to, say, the 13th Doctor action figure that I also got. And yeah, I mean, it's not the worst action figure I've ever got, but as I say, it's not the best articulation. I guess on the back there is a bit more sort of like almost a bit where the top bit's segmented and that, but that might be because that's how it was actually designed. I'm not sure, like the actual shirt, but either way, it is a good figure and that. But as I say, I think if you're a big fan, if you're a huge fan of Bill Potts and Series 10, then yeah, it's a must-have. But otherwise, it might be a miss. I don't know. I mean, I think it is a decent figure, and it is nice to have a different character, different newer character in the character options range, and someone from Series 10 and that, you know, because I think one of the issues of having Capaldi and or an older actor in the role was that the BBC found it more difficult to, you know, sort of market him and that, you know, with figures and whatnot. So I guess every character in his era sort of suffered for it and that. But it's nice that we finally get a Bill Potts figure. So yeah, I'd sort of give this figure a 7 out of 10, sort of average to above average sort of figure. Again, if it had more articulation, then maybe a higher rating, and that, but where the articulation is very much lacking, I do think it is better in detail and that. So, you know, in the sort of hair sculpt and face and the t-shirt design and that. So, you know, yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.